everyone. Welcome in to the show. Let's make sure that gets shut off. Welcome in, Diane and Dave.
Hey, great to be here.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I'm really glad you're here. Your story is a fantastic one, and I look forward to sharing that with everyone here. And it is a little frantic getting ready, getting everything situated. As you were saying, we're going over mic technique and guitar sound checks and everything else. So thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. I know that everyone here, the entire studio audience is thrilled that you're here.
Oh, that's awesome. Everyone, I love it.
Right. So I realized until very recently we've switched to the time of year where it gets dark. And we keep this place very, very well hidden. So it's my friend used to call it the Bat Cave, like in the old TV show when the thing would go down and they would drive through the weeds and then it would go back up. And it's sort of like that, but we do that on purpose. It's a very secret location.
Oh, it is.
We don't want anyone to know where it is.
I'm glad I had your number.
But we got you here. You're not believe me, you're not the first time. I've had many people call in a frantic, which is why you get the picture and the this and the that, and it's still find it hard to get here, so that's okay. So we met through a mutual friend of mine, Joe Rocha, who is a tremendous songwriter or bass player and musician. Plays in I think 40 or 50 different bands currently. I think it's actually 13 though, for real, which is kind of crazy. And you said you met him. Did you meet him at Live Band Karaoke?
Yeah.
So that's all over town, or just the one in Geneva?
No, just the one in Geneva.
Right on.
That's a lot
Because
of fun.
I know that he does a bunch, or did a bunch of them for a while. So I saw them. I have to ask him, when I was still drinking, when I went and they first started that live band karaoke concept, and I left a guitar behind.
Ah.
Oh.
I'm not terribly proud of it. As you can see, I did quit drinking.
Yeah.
But thanks to my friends, I got the guitar back. So.
Cool.
So don't do that. Don't. That's the idea is don't do that. Now, do you have a go-to song when you go to live band karaoke?
Gosh, there's a lot of them. I did Robert Palmer's Doctor.
All right.
Give me the news.
That's a good one.
I did that one.
That's
That was fun.
right on. So but you don't have a go-to. You have a whole. You have a range.
Yeah, Sunshine of Your Love by Cream.
There you go.
That one too.
Oh. All right. And then how did the two of you meet? Now you guys they're not a married couple.
No.
They're just friends who what did we say? You're the Bernie Taupin song. You were talking about writing songs, and but we're struggling with lyrics, and you had a bunch of lyrics. It's like you got your peanut butter and my chocolate. I got your chocolate and my peanut.
It was a little different than that.
Was
I had
it?
actually gotten an iPad Pro for my retirement.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this cool thing. He has his iPad, and we would see each other at open mics.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, oh, you got to teach me how to do all that, fix that up like that. And I kept saying, we're going to meet, we're going to have coffee. Went on. And then one night he came to the open mic, and he was walking out, and he says, well, I am really struggling. I gotta come up with some more songs for Oak and Bean. Do you know that one?
I haven't been there, but I'm familiar with it.
Anyway, so he just said he was trying to figure out what to do, and I said, well, what do you have the most problem with, the lyrics or the music? He said, oh, the lyrics. And I go, I'm your girl.
And now, have you written too many songs until when? Usually, one of my questions is, when did you first write a song? So for some people, it's forever, and for some people, it's new.
So I started writing songs with lyrics back in my college days.
Okay, yeah.
And it seemed like it was really easy back then. You just like
the brain works differently.
The words would come out with the music, and it was just easy. You know, I had maybe more passionate about something back then. I was wooing a young lady, and I thought maybe if I wrote her some songs,
right?
that it might pay off.
Right. You're trying to get somebody's clothes off by singing a song. I've done that.
Well, we ended up getting married.
So it works. Yeah. Oh, good. I don't know. After you're married for a while, sometimes it's harder to get the clothes off them.
47 years
right,
now.
I understand. What's the joke? I've been married 30 years, but not all to the same woman.
That's good though. That keeps it interesting, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I saw a guy say I don't even know who it was. Says, I've been married 34 years, and everyone in the audience claps. He's like, well, that's 3 different women, but that's
Oh, he meant for real. Okay.
yeah. But it's
Yeah, it was. I'm not quite sure what happened over the course of time. I played less guitar when you're raising a family,
Right.
and having a job and stuff like that.
right. All
So-
those real life
Yeah.
responsibilities.
So, but apparently my life got too easy or something, because when I decided, hey, it's time to start writing music again, the words just weren't coming. You get concepts every so often, but never seems to turn out right.
Well, But
Coming-
you're stoking the fire to start working on it again, and that's
I'm determined, to produce some of my own full words and music.
yeah.
And doing the music, she gives me the words, and I never really thought about just adding music to lyrics.
Right.
But it turns out it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Sure.
I would get a feel for the song, and some melody would come in my head, and
Now, how long ago did you guys start doing that?
It's not been that long. It's about a year.
Well, that's great.
maybe
I haven't even I've
3 or 4 months.
hardly known
It's
these
not
guys
that long.
more than a year. In the last year of my life, it's changed quite a bit in the people that I've met, and the open mic community around here is quite vibrant, and
It
there's a lot of
is.
really wonderful people, and there's that's how I met these guys, and we've all become pretty good friends, and I've met so many wonderful people in the last year and a half, I'd say, from just being in a community of people who were I don't know, just kind and listened and gave a crud about what other people were trying to do and were supportive.
Very.
And I don't know, I've said a few times that I did open mics in the past, and they're not always like that. A lot of times it's almost competitive, or just, people are cordial but not terribly friendly, and
You weren't in the Fox Valley.
well, it
'cause
was different. I mean, it's 15. No, it wasn't. It was other places, but I just mean it was 20 years ago, and different people in different times, and I think that since especially since the pandemic, people got more interested in listening to music out places because it got taken away from us for a while. So
Right.
I think that that's good. So you said you're learning guitar. You
Yeah,
have a
I've
guitar
been-
teacher, and how long have
Yeah.
you been playing?
Well, kind of like him. I played when I was like my 17 or whatever. I was constantly hanging around with bands, and
It's
Well,
it's an affliction. We
yeah.
all are. Once you
know.
get bit, you're bit. That's the
Yeah.
way it goes.
yeah. Well, I thought it was going to be Elvis when I was 7, and that probably scared a
Me
lot
too.
of me. You too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a good place to start.
It is the king of rock and roll for a reason.
No, but I got away from it, going to school, working, all that kind of stuff, and then I don't know, it might have been around COVID that I kind of picked it up again.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a ton of people. I think it's something that for me has always been. As soon as I was, I started playing when I was young, but as soon as I started playing, I immediately started writing. Now, did you write songs? You said when you were younger, both of you played, and you said you wrote songs. Did you write songs? Did you ever make any attempts, or was it more
Well,
like?
I'm kind of disappointed in all the guys I hung around with, because I always wanted to write songs, and they would just kind of brush me off. But I wrote a lot of poetry and just kept all of it, and that's how
Always
I
creative then.
Yeah, just like I've 40 years of journals.
Sure.
So I kept all this stuff, and I was cleaning it out like the last, few months, and I'm like, man, what am I going to do with this? So I had them all piled up on the floor, and I thought, I'm just going to throw them away. And then, lo and behold, here I tell him, I'm your girl.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden I'm going through them, and I'm like, oh, this is a good one. Let me rearrange this. And so it's like from probably the earliest ones from like 67.
Right on.
So it's getting put to
Now,
use
who were you listening to? Like, what was your? You said Elvis, but like, were you, pop music, or were you listening to like rock stuff on the radio, or you
Yeah,
an FM
I
early
like-
FM adopter, or any of that kind of stuff?
No, I liked all I liked a lot of the guys' bands, like the Young Rascals was my favorite,
Right.
and not American Woman, the Guess Who.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were always my favorite.
Right on.
Yeah.
Now, do you have you had a guitar back then? Do you remember what kind of guitar it was?
It was a harmony.
It was.
It was a hollow body harmony, but it was terrible. It had a high, the strings were high.
Yeah.
So I went out and, I'm going to take your next question. I went out and bought my first guitar. I bought it. It was in the paper or something.
I
and
like
some
it
guy
when
had
somebody
it.
knows the show. See, it's wonderful.
You have no idea. Anyway, so I went to this guy's house and picked up the amp and the Epiphone, and then I was like hooked because you could actually really play it.
Yeah.
And I stalked one of my. I was a groupie to a band, and I stalked one of the guitar players.
What was the
and
name of the
made him-
band?
The name of the band?
Yeah.
It's called In the Beginning.
Sure.
Hi, John. And we were out there.
Right on.
Anyway, I stalked him and went to his house and made him give me guitar lessons.
Sure. Now, for you, you said you played. Who were you listening to back then?
So yeah, so in the after I got out into high school, I switched from electric to acoustic. Traded my my first electric guitar, which was a Gibson SG Junior. It only had one pickup on it, and I bought for $100 with my Silvertone stereo amp.
Imagine if you still had those now.
I know. So
That's
that
always
and
the story.
had my ES335 12-string electric, which
Wow.
I've since replaced with a similar 60-ish
Right.
year one. But anyway, I traded it to a guy for a Gibson B25 natural 12-string, which I still have.
All right.
Actually, it was the only guitar I had from high school until 2008, which is, for my high school, and that's a lot of years. And when I decided to buy a guitar, I bought a beautiful Martin, which is so nice I don't even take it out. But that I found out that B25 12-string had a 2-inch wide nut, which to me was just a normal width.
Right.
And when I tried to play a standard Martin 6-string guitar, it was like, where do you put your fingers? It's like there's no space whatsoever. So it was quite a learning experience. I almost just gave it up and went back to it. But since then, I've learned it can be done.
Right, you adapt. You learn to play whatever you have, and the problem, the affliction that I have is I had one guitar for a long time, and then I had two, and then now I have many more than that. But once you become addicted, you can't stop buying them. I'm a person of I'm a highly addictive, compulsive person. So, but it's always the stuff that I there's very few things that I actually parted ways with, and I can. There's really only one or two things that I actually don't miss. Almost everything else I wish I never got rid of, and I wish I still had. Excuse me. So, so all right, you guys got a song you want to start with, and you have a story or something where it came from, or the origins, or
Well, so we talked about picking a song. So she picked a song, and I picked a song of the ones we've done. And so this is the one that she picked, and so I'm not sure what the origins of this one. I think this is one of your old.
What's the
old
title of
poems,
it?
Wasn't?
Yeah, well, for sure the other one was Beauty Out of Touch.
Yeah,
This
this
I
one-
wrote that when I was living in Florida. I was, probably 19 or something, and we'd all go out on a lake and look at the water at night.
Yeah. So, but this one isn't
This
that.
one.
So we're gonna do the one she picked first,
I don't know what this
which
one
is
is.
it's
What's
called
this?
it's called Let Me In.
oh, okay.
And I really don't know how I came up. The music for this is very different from any stuff I do, so I'm glad she picked it because it's different. And
And these are all like you guys just started doing this within a year, so these are all new compositions.
3-4 months ago, actually.
These are all pretty new compositions. So when we talked, your story was so interesting to me that having met you at an open mic a couple times and meeting you, but it was just so interesting to me that I think it's wonderful that within the community you found a way to take the part that you don't have and the part that you're struggling with and work together because all of this is about communication, connection, the things that are missing in that I think are missing in a lot of what's going on these days is a lot of people just not trying or being willing to communicate and or work together or compromise or work as a team. So I think that these are all wonderful things, and that's why I'm glad that you guys are here. So
Well, that's kind of what this first song is about, because it's called Let Me In. So it's about someone not letting you in and communicating and getting closer. It's a pretty classic theme, really. But
sure.
Yeah. But
All right. Well, why don't you go ahead?
Give it a shot?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and because this is songwriting, so whenever I play out, I always use a pick. When I'm finger picking, I use a thumb pick in my fingers, or I use a flat pick when I'm strumming. But when I write songs, I just use my fingers. So I decided, when I write songs, I sit down, but when I perform, I stand up.
Mm-hmm.
So since I'm sitting down, doing songwriting stuff, we're sitting down with just strumming with fingers.
Finger picking.
So
Right
it'll be
on.
just like
Whatever.
it was when it came off the demo tape.
Right on.
Here we go. Is there enough time in the world to get to know you very well? Maybe that's just too much time to find the fault, break the spell. Where's the everlasting you deep within your inner mind? To reach inside to learn you and know of your forever love. Let me in, show me where to start. I long to know you deeply, look into your heart. You're a silent mystery, your light shines bold and bright. I long to learn about you, a constellation in the night. Where's the everlasting you deep within your inner mind? Reach inside and to learn you, know of your forever love. Let me in, show me where to start. I long to know you deeply, look into your heart. Your lifeline is unfolding, full of starry dreams. No matter what you see in me, I am just as I seem. We might be star-crossed lovers, should you let me in. I'll reach inside and learn your love, endless journey will begin. Where's the everlasting you deep within your inner mind? Reach inside to learn you and know of your forever love. Let me in, show me where to start. I long to know you deeply, look into your heart.
Yeah. All right.
thank you.
Love it.
Well, thank you.
That's awesome. Can you read any of those? I keep trying to move this, and every time I move it, I still can't read it. I think I'm just gonna have to put the live chat right in front of me.
No.
I can't read it. Is there any? Oh, is that Jimmy Lanuts guy commenting again?
Oh.
we, he's quite the comedian, that Jimmy Lenutz. Well, anyway, I can't read any of it. I wish I could.
Can't either.
Yeah, somebody gave it a heart though, so there you go. I saw that.
Oh,
Well, that's nice.
well, thank you for the heart.
That's awesome. Now,
There goes some more. Ooh.
as far as so, like you said, your first guitar. What was the first concert you ever went to?
By myself. First concert. Probably. Yeah, I was a little bit older. Actually, with Springsteen.
Yeah, what year?
80.
If you care to admit.
Well, I wish I could really remember. I know here's the cool thing. I went by myself, and I stood in line for a long time.
Where was it?
It was in Florida, actually.
Oh,
I lived
okay.
in Florida. Don't ask any questions.
I won't.
But anyway,
I'm willing to respect that.
I just took a wrong turn. Here I am.
That's okay. I don't know. I think you're better off.
I am, because I'm here. But it was this place where some kind of sports thing was always played. And anyway, when I got inside, I sat down. You know, there I am with my little ticket sitting by myself waiting. And this guy next to me looks at me and goes, "Are you by yourself?" And I'm like,
Yeah, what's it to you, Jagger?
"Yeah." He goes, "God, you're weird."
I think he's weird. That's what I
It
think.
was crazy. I
Right.
thought, that's just nuts. But it was, you know, it's a fantastic concert.
Now, is that
of course.
before or after Born in the USA? Can you remember?
I think it was before.
See, that's you saw the good stuff.
Yeah.
Not that after was bad, but there's definitely a demarcation line.
Yes.
Born in the USA. I once played in a Bruce Springsteen tribute band
Oh, cool.
briefly, and but I didn't like Springsteen because my high school years were the '80s, and it was all when that album came out, and that was so huge that you couldn't get away from it. So I was like, I'm not interested. And then it wasn't until I was, approaching 30, I was working with a guy who was much older than me. He was like 40. Anyways,
Wow.
right? He was practically dead. But he wanted to do this Bruce Springsteen stuff, and I was like, eh. He's like, well, I don't have a bass player or whatever. I'm like, I'll help you. I could play bass. I'm not. He's like, yeah, I grew up in New Jersey, and I saw Springsteen a bunch before anybody knew who he was, so I'm a big fan of all his early stuff. I'm like, whatever. And then I started listening to all the early stuff, which I never paid any attention to, and was like,
Whoa.
oh, now I get it. Like, now I get it. And then I went back, and it made me appreciate the stuff that I dismissed
Yeah.
much more. And for sure, everything up to that point is really where the stuff that I like the most
Yeah.
is, right, everything all the way through Nebraska and all that stuff. But as it got later, like I said, I learned to appreciate it more. But it has the memories of being overplayed on the radio
Yeah.
for me. So, and you
The hits.
your first concert, do you know?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I was a late arriver at concert. It was in college, my sophomore year, I think. So 1975.
Mm-hmm.
So Jethro Tull. So
Nice.
It was.
That's a good
It
one.
was from what I remember of it.
Right, right.
I don't.
They were burning
sure.
leaves
Yeah,
inside
it
or
was-
something, right?
I'm not sure what was
Right.
going on, but
Yeah.
it was one of those ones where we, took our dorm blankets and slept outside, waiting for the ticket booth to open up. And
I love explaining that because, some of my earliest memories of like that kind of stuff was the communal aspect of
Yep.
camping out all night to get tickets, and it's like all that stuff disappeared with the internet, and I mean literally sleeping on a sidewalk, like
Yep.
in line, like
when it's cold,
yes,
it doesn't matter, or rainy.
yeah. Yeah, we did that for Grateful Dead tickets once.
Oh.
Because in the '80s was when they had like that resurgence, and before that all took off. A bunch of people I knew were like, and I was like, I'll go hang out with you guys. And then hanging out all night to buy tickets, I was like, well, I can't wait to see this show because that was fun all by itself. Like, it was absolutely
I
insane.
can imagine that crew.
Yeah, well, right, and that led to a number of ridiculous adventures that are hardly I can hardly remember, but they're very memorable. If that makes any sense at all.
The Grateful Dead thing. So my youngest son married a young lady. They just had their first baby a couple weeks ago. But anyway, her parents were total Deadheads.
Sure. Right.
And it just so I had to start learning some Grateful Dead songs to play around with, out of respect.
Yeah,
'Cause
what'd you start out with?
I think Ripple was the first one I did.
Oh, it's one of my favorite Dead songs.
Yeah, that one always goes over.
Right.
Goes over well. I just started doing Casey Jones. Just
It's Dan's song.
Yeah.
He's riding that train.
Riding that train. And
He doesn't do cocaine, though. I know that
no,
for sure.
of course not. Yeah.
He doesn't.
But,
He's driving the train, he literally. But now, my youngest daughter is 22, 23. I think 23. I don't know. I have 6 kids, so I forget sometimes, and they understand. But 23, I think Katie is. But a couple years ago, she went to see whatever version of the Dead and Company thing with a bunch of friends, and then I was trying to explain to her mom and I have been divorced a long time, and I was trying to explain to her that your mother and I went to see the Dead at whatever, and she was like, "My mom?" Like, yeah, I know you. She was like, "I just can't picture that," and then I was, describing things that were happening that she saw, and she's like, "You really did spend time at those shows, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yes, I did, and I know what you were doing too." So,
Guilty.
right. But she's a good kid, so she managed to stay out of trouble, whatever she chose to do, which I'm sure was absolutely nothing.
I'm sure.
I'm sure it's absolutely nothing. So, all right. So let's see. You can do the song. What's your favorite ice cream?
Caramel, swirl, vanilla.
It's plain old chocolate chip.
Chocolate. All right. Those both work. I think. Are you a fan of Love?
Love.
Because the album side of the week is Jay Giles Band, and it is Love Stinks.
Oh.
That was a good segue. That was really among my. I gotta try to not get the. Hold it here. Let's see. You can't really read it though. Trying to get not to see when I do. Where is it? See, that's bad right there. This is the fun
You've
we have.
identified bad.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I think it works best if I do this.
Oh yeah.
You're a very attractive woman.
Yeah.
Anyway, my memory, Jay Giles was huge in the early '80s with Centerfold, but this song I remember coming out of my brother's stereo, Love Stinks, and when I saw this I was at Black Dog a couple weeks ago, watching some friends, and I always go wander over in their records because they're a record store. And I was like, oh, and I'm always interested in cheap ones. So side 2 has Love Stinks, Trying Not to Think About It, Desire, which is not the same desire as U2's Desire, Until the Walls Come Tumbling Down. And it's the Jay Giles Band, for those who don't know, was like a giant, huge success in, I think it might be Boston or Philly. I bet if I looked, I could look. But I know that the band was super successful on its own, but they were kind of like this kind of huge bar band thing, and not bigger than that, but local in the area. But then Peter Wolf, which was the singer, added his 2 cents, and it became something way different. And he was actually a DJ at one point, and he had this panache, flair to made the whole thing really kick into high gear, and that's when it really got great. But the member's name is my favorite. Well, there's of course Jay Giles, who plays guitar and is like the least. He's not the front guy, but it was the Jay Giles Band originally. What's the Magic Dick is the harmonica and alto sax player. He was my favorite guy. So, and how can you not like a guy named Magic Dick? So.
Rather unforgettable.
Rather unforgettable, right? What's funny is on the back of the album is there are pictures of them as kids, and I know that at some point, even into the '80s, he had a giant afro, like white guy afro, but giant afro for sure. So he had big giant hair. So they were a great band, and that's a great record.
Oh yeah.
So I strongly recommend any album or any kind of listening to the collection of an artist's music as they present it. I strongly urge from time to time. A playlist is great, but if you can listen to a group of songs by a single artist as they presented it to the world, sometimes you get a better view of a snapshot or a period of time in that point in their writing history. So that's the album side of the week, and just a special band when I was a kid, from sneaking into my brother's room and playing records, which I wasn't supposed to do, but I did anyways. He must have known it, but most of the time he didn't give me too hard a time about it. So now for a song for me this week, we have a songwriters group that a bunch of us get together. 4 weeks seemed too short, and 6 weeks seemed too long, so it's the 35-day song club, and so we have a prompt or what, and so I've written a couple, and sort of like you were saying about in writing. Sometimes we have to force ourselves to do things a different way, or force ourselves into discomfort to create something new, and that's sort of the catalyst for this thing. Because I have I've written songs since I was a kid, and again, sort of like you guys, there's the point in raising kids where it sort of gets shoved to the bottom of the list. You still try to make time for it, but it doesn't get much attention or time. And more recently, I've been able to write again, but then I found myself sort of struggling to find new things or find an approach, or the way that I had always done it seemed weird, or it wasn't working, and so it was suggested that we create this songwriters club and get some friends together and sort of challenge ourselves. So what's happened is I've gotten a bunch of new things, and but as I get older, everything I start to write, I think already exists. I'm like, does this already exist? Because when you're writing, you just follow what your brain naturally hears. At least that's how I do it. It's like, oh, this feels like this should go next. And then later on I go, am I stealing this from somebody? And then I spend weeks trying to figure out what it is. And
Where
then
did I hear that before?
Right. Why does that fit together so well? Oh, yeah, no, that's why. Because somebody else did it. Oh, I got to change a couple chords here because that's not going to work. I think the Beatles are going to get mad at me. So I had this great song about a bird and a fly. Anyways, and then I realized it was already done. So, but in truth, it's the prompts. The thing that I struggle with is I have most of my songs tend to be just coping mechanisms and songs about me coping with the difficulty of my experience in this world, and trying to bring myself to choose a subject or do something that's not exactly just oozing out of my brain already, to really sort of go, all right, I have to look at it like the one where your house, what was it? Your house is on, wait, what was it?
You crash your car because you're driving home and your house is on fire.
Right, and then that was, you crash your car because you're driving home because your house is on fire. And I was like, can we pick another one? I don't like this. No. All right. And then I didn't do so good at that one, but it forced me to try some new things, and what it brought me to was some other song ideas. And this is something that's pretty new, and I don't know how well I'm going to get through it, but it's a song, Test It Again is what it's titled so far. So let me see if I can. Not so much pressure, but a frantic mind. I'll somehow lose these modest gains. Took me 35 years of my blood, sweat, and tears. Damned if they'll take it from me. Started from nothing, so I didn't want much. The plan was a simple one. Someone who loved me and a place of my own. Some time with my hands and my thoughts. But I'm tested again, I guess. I walked this way a time or two before. Ain't giving up on nothing without a fight. They just might get more than they bargained for. That was a little shaky. I think I'll do the chorus better next time. It is new. Not that it's all that much, but it is to me. Been working since I was a boy. Said if I made it this far, I'd have some time for a rest. Some rich sucker had other plans for me. Oops, wait. Desperate times call for desperate measures. The pain in my stomach getting worse. Sickening feeling that everything that I earned being burned to the ground right in front of me. 'Cause I'm tested again, I guess. I walked this way a time or two before. I ain't giving up on nothing without a fight. They just might get more than they bargained for. Here we stand looking up that road. What lay behind now irrelevant. That same sad story again and again. I guess it just don't matter anymore. I'm tested again, I guess. I walked this way a time or two before. I ain't giving up on nothing without a fight. They just might get more than they bargained for. And big, long, raging guitar solo. And then it kicks in the double time and goes forever and ever. And so it's supposed to be like it's a new. You're getting a glimpse of something that's kind of in progress. I don't know whether as I work on it, like I did like a pre-chorus that I messed up in where I do the times call for desperate measures. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that twice. I might do it twice, but this show's about songwriting, so I'm kind of showing.
Well,
Part of what I decided to do today was present this new thing, in kind of as this work in progress, and I have not sure exactly how I'm going to arrange it, but those are kind of the parts, and I have some ideas to make it a little more interesting. I don't know. So
Yeah,
can I say?
you can say anything.
There's no such thing as writing, only rewriting. So
Sure.
you got to get it down.
Right.
You got it
Oh,
down.
yeah. No, usually what happens for me is, like, this is just only the most recent piece of paper. There's a stack of papers this thick of different versions of different verses and which order I'm going to put it in. And the best way to make it get better, to bring it to life, is to force yourself to play it and force yourself to play it in front of people, because playing by myself doesn't make any difference. Until I start playing it in front of people, then it sort of forces what feels the right thing in the moment, and then it forces things to happen. So, again, anyway, that is the basic idea of there's a point in your life, those of us who get to a certain point, you think it's supposed to get easier, or there's supposed to be this moment of like you get to just, but it never so far doesn't feel that way. You just get tested in a different way.
Yeah, so
Test it
that
again.
Yeah.
that's called nirvana, right? But look what happened to them. So.
Yeah, it didn't work out so good. A couple of them did okay, but not that one guy, not so much. So, yeah. But
Be
without
careful what you ask for.
right. Well, right, and that was something else I was telling somebody, that there's some examples of people that when I was younger, I was you sort of emulate or wish you like, oh, I wish I was in that band, or I wish I. And then of course some of the people that I was wishing that by the time we got to our 30s, we were not making it past their 30s, and I was like, meh, I might have been one of those people had I achieved some level of high success in my 20s playing music. I'm not sure I would have made it to 40. Like because the way I operated, the odds say I might not have made it too much further.
If you're thinking that, it's probably true.
Yeah, well, I think so. I mean, it's I make no secret about being in recovery and struggling with a lot of those things, and that's what happens to those people. I'm a compulsive, addictive personality, so take away one thing and I'll do twice as much as the other. So it's not a good thing. But I went to like I said, worked on recovery and sober for a while, and that's a good thing. So anyways, but we get tested in new ways.
Yeah. So I was going to say that, and it may just be because we were talking about Springsteen, but the very beginning of that, I could have heard Springsteen singing that. I mean,
I'll take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment.
Okay, good.
No, it came across as really, really nice, and the words fit. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
So
it's coming along.
And don't work on it forever, right? So we got to be careful as musicians. At some point, you have to say, okay,
right.
This is the song, and move on to another one.
I think I've even told the story here. I learned a lesson from. I built a few guitars on my own, and then I was referencing some stuff from this guy online that was in Colorado, and I liked his sense of humor when he had videos and things, and but also his approach and the way he taught. I learned a whole bunch of tips about building guitars, and then I had the opportunity to actually go to Colorado like 3 years ago and build this guitar that I play with him one-on-one in this program that this thing that he would do. And I was talking about the couple of the guitars that I had already built, and the one had this problem and the other one had that problem, and I was trying to talk about, well, that's messed up because I did this wrong, and I think I have to pull the neck off and reset it. And he's like, does it play? I go, yeah. Does it tune? I go, yeah. And he's like, just build a new one.
There you go.
And he said, just leave that one alone and build another one and do that one better. And I use that philosophy in my songs because I carried songs around for a long time that weren't ever really done because I was trying to make this get the neck to set just right. And really, you don't need to just finish that one and write another one. And I think that's a better approach because it's also a snapshot at this point in your life and who you are at this moment and your ability level at that time, and you're better off just chronicling that and moving on. And I think that that's a better philosophy, really. I just really, that's the one thing that I regret is part of the stagnancy in my songwriting was the period of time when I was struggling with all the other things, but I had these group of songs that I was still sort of trying to sand down and make better, and I needed to just move on. And until I made that decision, I never really was able to, and I wasn't able to even write so much because there was this kind of block in my brain, like those aren't really done, so I can't really do. And so I think that's a better approach.
That's well said. I like that. Yeah, because you're that person writing at that time, and it's like cooking something too long on the stove.
Yeah.
It's not going to be
I
good.
like that. I like that analogy too. Yeah.
No,
So right, you can't. At some point, it just has to be done.
Yeah, it tastes good or bad, or just make something else now.
Right.
The worst case is you just throw it away and go on to something else.
But usually
Usually you don't.
But right, because
Yeah.
there's value
Yeah,
in almost everything you do, and even if it's something that you really like later, you're like, I really don't like this part, then you could take that part and adapt it to a new song idea, and you can still have that other song that exists, but you can steal from yourself. There's no like
What?
you could take your own song ideas and put them in another song.
Holy.
Just ask John Fogerty. I mean, like, and he makes
forgot about it.
right. He makes no secret about that himself. Like he had to go to court and explain why this song was different than that song. And then did you ever hear that story?
I did, yeah. It was
It's-
incredible.
I don't know
when
that
he John Fogerty, stopped in like 75 and didn't put anything out till 85. But by 85, all the rights to his songs had been taken over by his company because he had to give them away to get out of the record deal. And so when he put out new songs in 1985, the guy that owned his rights, who he had this bitter breakup with, sued him for his song sounding too much like the ones that he owned. And so John Fogerty had to go into court and explain why the songs that he's suing me over, I wrote those too, and here's why the songs are different. And he literally brought a guitar and sat on the stand and said this song is a D to a C to a this, and then he played, like Born on the Bayou or whatever it was, and then he said, and this song is a D to an F to a G, and they're different, and the rhythms are different, and this is different, and the words are different. I wrote both of them, so they're gonna sound the same. And he ended up winning his court case, which it's like that guy was just a horrible person who was trying to sue him. So, but that's a different story altogether.
That's
So
a cool story.
it is. It's even better when he tells it.
Yeah. The ultimate self-defense.
Right. Well, you can't help it, and you can't steal from yourself. That's for sure. So, do you have your second song that you want to do?
Right. So this one, "Beauty Out of Touch," which is a more recent one of the group. So this is one that for some reason it's probably one of my favorites, which I guess is why I picked it.
Sure.
But
It's kind of an environmental song too.
Yeah, it's an
so
environmental song,
kind of
definitely.
timely in that way.
definitely.
I think so. I didn't know that initially, but it is.
Right on.
And you'll hopefully notice that it's very different from the first song.
Sure.
At least it sounds totally different to me. So.
I'm sure it's great.
I know I always have trouble because it's in 3/4 or maybe 6/8 time
Right.
instead of 4/4, and
Right.
so I always have to mentally get myself in
Right.
3/4 time before I start.
Get your brain in the
otherwise
right
it's-
place.
Across the shiny lake, city lights do shine just along the treetops, a horizon line. Sounds out of earshot, the night offers stars, heaven's lightning bugs. All of this not ours. Beauty out of touch always lasts. Beauty out of touch, breaking glass. Face of the moon slips up in the sky, darkness falling now. Nighthawk soon will fly. Silhouetted trees, black and tall, side by side. Pink and purple clouds beginning to collide. Silence is the sound, singing in the breeze, and owl listens now, guarding all the trees. Beauty out of touch always lasts. Beauty out of touch, broken glass. Beauty out of touch touch.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is certainly quite a difference from the other one. It sounded very Pink Floydy to me.
Oh.
You know, you're the second person that said that to me. I haven't actually gone to the Pink Floyd racks to see if I stole something from that.
I don't
but
think so. It just has that
it-
sort of like dreamy, sort of
Like
floaty
ethereal.
clouds.
Yeah,
Like
That's what I was
Yeah.
going for, yeah.
yeah, well, you achieved it. I hope that didn't come off. Like it just has that sort of.
No, I take that as a total compliment.
Oh, good,
yeah.
good, because you should. Especially that I don't know, the Dark Side of the Moon era
Yep, yep.
of
I mean,
of kind of.
That was kind of my years, right?
Right on.
Yeah, so-
Yeah, right. Did you have like the 75? Did you wear platform shoes or is that later?
I did not.
That was
no,
later,
no.
right?
But
That's
I
a little bit
I
later.
did do a bunch of disco stuff when
Did
I was
you?
in college. Yeah,
Yeah,
there was a lot
yeah.
of,
It was
that
huge.
that was how you got the chicks. you know.
Right, that's right. There's girls. So it drives a lot of creation of art and style is trying to attract, get in somebody's pants. I mean, that's all we're trying to do, really.
That's been a constant theme today.
It's a constant theme to
yeah,
life, I think,
yeah.
isn't it? They
probably
They
is.
sort of put that imperative in your brain somewhere along
Yeah,
the
I
line.
think
Right.
it's just a metaphor for a lot of things.
Right on, right on. So, let's see. Your second. So you did your second song. We asked you
Yep.
your ice cream. If you, what's your favorite color?
How about shades of blue?
Shades of blue. I suppose we'll
Like
we'll accept,
water.
judges. We'll accept that. Judges say you will
Shades
accept
of blue.
it. Shades of blue. It's just- That's your
Yeah.
autobiography. There you go. Now you have a title. There.
Go right
Shades of Blue.
ahead.
Shades of blue.
Go right ahead. Glad to help you out.
That's funny.
Yeah, perfect. So I'm torn between turquoise, which was the first color my youngest son said that he liked when he was like 3 years old.
You're right. Those are
Turquoise.
those moments where you go, where did you learn that?
Yeah.
Or that or yellow, my oldest grandson. I
Right
mean,
on.
his life is built around the color yellow. So,
Right on.
so I'm with those.
I think you're the first person to answer with a yellow. That's a.
Yeah.
You get a lot of yellow. Yellow doesn't get a lot of attention. Right on.
Well, I'm trying to promote it because he's up and coming.
Sure.
Yeah, so
Right.
Now you got to learn mellow yellow.
It's
I do play Mellow Yellow. That's one of the songs that I play out. Yes.
Right
yeah.
on.
It gets good.
that's,
cool.
Fine.
I haven't heard that.
I heard they call you that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I've been looking for a stage name.
All right.
You're pretty. You're not terribly. You don't seem high strung, really. Are you high
No,
strung?
So I was a very type A executive management type person my whole career, and then I just totally dropped that when I retired.
Right on.
So
Yeah.
my wife may argue a little bit with that.
Well, they know us better than
Yeah,
anybody.
but
Well, your iPad
my goal
benefits.
is to be a little more laid back.
Yeah. Well, sometimes
She's laughing right now if she's watching.
right.
Yeah.
It's goals don't mean you have to achieve them right away. So
Exactly.
you can continue to work toward them. I know that in my life that the people that knew me in my work years in construction and doing that stuff, and then they see me outside of that world, and I'm not the same person. I was very different. We'll just say different. We'll just go with different. I was very different in that world. So,
Yeah.
and I left it as quickly as I could. So,
Good man.
When you know, you know.
yeah, no, there was a point. Very
Time to go.
And you're here now.
Right.
Thanks, we're very thankful for that.
So,
Yes.
that makes all of us. I'm thankful as well. So, well, my you'd have to ask my wife herself. She might not be. She says she is. But I say, well, I appreciate you saying that, or at least lying and saying that. So, even if you're not telling the truth, I appreciate you pretending.
Sure feels good,
Right.
right? It feels good. Say it again.
Right, so far. But that's one of my stories. Is we were both got together. We knew each other as kids, but our lives had taken us different directions, and then we second marriage for both of us, and we were dating maybe 3 months, 4 months, and I said, "Are you sick of me yet?" And she said, "No." I said, "Should be any time now." It's been a few months by now. You should now. Now we're at almost 20 years. So So, you know,
Self-esteem issues back in
totally
there
still to
somewhere?
this
Yeah.
day. Yeah, right. We're working. I pay somebody a lot of money every other week about talk about those sorts of things. So, but you know, it's peeling the onion back, just trying to figure it out. That's the songwriting and the therapy. They're hand in hand.
Hand in hand, baby, all the time.
Right on, right on. So, why do you think you started creating writing? You said you wrote poetry and you wrote, you know, stories, and you. So, what is your why? What do you think drives you to do that?
You mean even like continue doing it now? Well, it just kind of brings me closer to people. Like, it's just Dave and I've had so much fun, and he's benefited a lot, and here I am here. This is very cool. I don't know. It's just like I can't really stop it now.
Connection.
Yeah, connection with other people, and I don't know. It just feels good right now. Mainly, I'm doing stuff for Dave. A couple of other people have asked me, so maybe I'll do that for them.
Right on. How about you? What do you think?
Yeah. So.
What's your why? Is the actual
My why?
specific
So
question.
I'll why on the music part of it, since I'm doing so poorly on the lyric part.
Yeah,
But the
it's a work in progress.
So the music part is, it's such a constant in my life. I'm always listening to music, and as my memory starts fading in capability over the years, the thing I find interesting is that although I can't remember the names of any of the songs, I reckon all the melodies are in my head.
Yeah.
And so music is just a real big part, I think, of human life, and it just seems to work for me, and it gives me comfort because I can remember music.
Yeah.
And I can't remember words.
You
so,
and many others. I
you
think.
know.
I think it's one of those gifts that the universe gave us. That like the harmonic, the harmonies and the frequency, and how it all blends together, and there's these moments of purity in music, and how two people who don't actually speak the same language can still communicate very deeply by playing music together. And you could be playing music with somebody who speaks a completely different language, but you can figure out how to communicate with instruments if you know how to play them. And those are the kinds of things that I find the most fascinating about this. And it brings you brings people into your world that you would have never otherwise. And you can learn so much about each other just by knowing what kind of music do you listen to? What kind of music do you listen to? And when you can learn, that's a Frank Zappa thing. You can learn a lot about somebody by looking through their record collection. Who they are and what they appreciate in the world. And my dog thinks so too. I don't know if you heard that. So
Total agreement.
right. Tommy agrees. So, all right. So now you said you don't really have too many gigs lined up, but you mostly just do an open mic.
Yeah, so I do open mics. I was talking with Blue earlier that a 3-hour gig is not my idea of a good time.
Yeah.
It turns into work, and music has to be enjoyable for me. But a 2-hour thing or a 1-hour thing, it's I have the material. It's just a matter of I don't want to make it start seeming like a job.
Right.
So
I agree. I get that. Lately I've been doing more things where it's trying. If there's an opportunity, I try to include somebody else or make it a 2 or 3 person thing where everybody's doing a shorter amount of time. Because we all know there's so much money in this. So it's hard to divide up the millions that we get for doing this, but if we're all out there doing it and you're with your friends and you're enjoying the evening and you're supporting each other and helping, I think that's a lot less like work and a lot more like
absolutely
like what we need more of.
And that's what I've been spreading around is that hey, if you got a 3-hour gig and you really only want to do 2 hours of it, give me a call.
Right now,
if I'll fill in that middle hour while you have a few drinks and a smoke. And,
sure.
And
I think that's a great thing. We're Blue and I are playing tomorrow night with another friend of mine. What is it? 4 Point Saloon, right?
4 points, yeah.
And and I really enjoy playing stuff with Blue and my friend Kenny is going to play along, and Kenny's been playing guitar on my project, and I've been playing bass in his project, and so. It's been really fun, and all these relationships are people I didn't know 2 years ago, and that's what I like the most is this new community of people. I keep doing it. Is that loud? I don't know if that was.
little
I don't
bit.
think
I
that
can
was
hear that.
terribly.
Just like chalk on a chalkboard. Very nice.
I know. I'm an idiot. I can't help it. But well, it was great having you guys here. I'm
Thank
super.
you so much.
I hope that this was at least enjoyable for you, and you don't run for the door immediately upon things shutting off. But I'm really glad that you were here because I think your story is valuable. And I think everyone who wants to write or has an urge to create, but finds something that they're still need to work on or whatever. The fact that you two found each other and worked together, I think is a great story, and I'm really glad you were here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's
really
great
appreciate
being here. I love it.
You're
Thank you.
you're welcome. I think if anybody's interested in what we're doing tomorrow and exactly where that is, it's on melmusic.com. MELMUZIC, melmusic.com. Thanks to Jean Price for all her work with social media and otherwise, and she's a fantastic singer. Thank you, Josette. Thank you, Blue, for helping. I'm really grateful for things really have gotten great since you guys have been around, so I really appreciate it. Next week is Thanksgiving already.
it
I
is.
think you got one more week in there.
No?
Really?
Yeah, because Thanksgiving's really late this year. It's like the 20,
Oh, yeah.
It was like the 27th.
27th.
We
is
got
Thanksgiving.
another week.
Oh.
That's right.
So that's 14 days from
I
today.
didn't book anybody for next week. What am I going to do? It's December 4th. I just looked it up.
December 4th isn't next week.
I know. We'll figure all this out.
Yeah.
I have stuff wrong on my calendar. Who's on the calendar? Might not be up there.
Thursday's the 20th.
Well, we'll figure it out. You
Good,
can look
yeah.
at melmusic.com or on social media. I know that coming up is a few other folks, but we'll see what's going on. So check around. I have my stuff wrong. I think that brings us to dumb joke of the day, doesn't it?
Oh.
Oh, okay.
I gotta do goat. That's goat number 1. Goat number 2 is much more. I like that there's reverb. There's reverb in here on this. Let's listen again. You can hear it echo.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's delightful. That's thanks to Kenny P. Mitchell. So that brings us to dumb joke of the day, and this is from Kesha.
Yeah.
Wow,
We're getting
you know some people, man.
Yeah.
When Kesha first happened, my kids were like teenagers, and I used to just call her Ketchup. And my daughter would be like, "Dad, what?"
Get it right.
No, it's more like just knock it off. I think it was really more the subtext of Dad. Just stop it. Anyways, oops, sorry.
It's off.
The microphone has been taken away from me. I can tell. I see it's been muted now. All right. So from Kesha. Kesha says, I told my wife she was drawing her eyebrows too high. She looked surprised.
Oh. Ooh. Yeah, give that a.
But that one needed like a rim shot, but that's brilliant. That's a good one, Blue. I like that. I really like the fact that you write the jokes and I don't know it until I open it and read it.
I forget them half the time.
That's all right. We got a whole. We have references now. If you have jokes you want to suggest, send them to Blue at Blue and Blue and Blue.
Yeah.
So Blue is the joke teller. So whatever you can find him, just look for the guy standing on a table and
You'll
that's
find
Blue.
them, yeah.
Thank you again, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks
And
so much.
And
It's great.
thanks for being here. And we'll see you all out there. So
See you out there.
I don't know. Should we do the theme song at the end, or do we just? I used to play it. I could do this again. See, does it play? Wait, I think it's gonna start. No? Oh wait, there it is. Yeah, let's go back. There we go. See ya, everybody.